Hello and welcome to Science Never Stops. I'm your host, Joseph Vick. From my home kitchen to yours, let's do some experiments today. So do you have some random crayons laying about your house? I happen to have some broken crayons at that. If any of your crayons are broken, don't throw them out. They're important, and we can keep those and use those for today's experiment called Galaxy Swirl crayons. So I happen to have for this experiment leftover crayons and a bowl of warm water. Because the first thing you need to do is take your crayon and remove the paper from the outside. And the way you do that, the best way to do that is to set your crayons, that's enough right there, into the water. I also have a piece of paper towel here just in case I get my table wet. And I'm going to let these soak for just a few moments until the paper has absorbed the water and we can remove the wrappings from the crayons. Well, it's been about 5 minutes since we let our crayons soak, and as you can see, I took a few from my little crayon container that already had some easy to remove pieces of paper coverings and set those to the side. But let's sort of lift these up and notice the paper will peel right off. And set down your crayon, your wet crayon, on your paper towel so it can absorb the excess water. And the others you can just twist, and that paper should slide right off. So continue to twist and remove. Now, galaxies are made up of billions and billions of stars. And with that billions and billions of stars, we have our crayons. So we need to break them up into as many tiny little pieces as we can. So break all these little pieces up, break them up, and then as you break them up, feel free to sort them into different color piles so you can distinguish the different colors, your reds, your greens, your browns, all the different colors of the galaxy rainbow. Great. Now, with these crayons, in order for us to make our galaxy crayons, we need to talk about something called a melting point. In science, the melting point of an object is the heat amount that has to go into a solid. There are solids, there are liquids, there are gases, but the heat amount that has to go into a solid in order for that solid to melt is its melting point. The melting point of a crayon is between 120 and 145 degrees Fahrenheit. So what we're going to do is we're going to need to create heat, and we're going to use our home ovens to do this. Now, the fun part is finding the perfect mold. You can make your crayons into any shape you want. I happen to have my favorite mold, which is my Doctor Who mold, and with this you can fill one of these as much or as little as you want with this various different crayon colors as you want. So I'm going to put a little bit in the TARDIS, and then I'll exterminate my other crayon colors in with the Dalek there, and sort of fill in as we go to make my galaxy crayon. So now I have my molds filled, and now I need to go preheat my oven. Hello and welcome from the home experiment kitchen. I have preheated my oven to 200 degrees. 200 degrees because the melting point of the crayons in our mold is between 120 and 140. So we need to make it a little bit higher than that, and the lowest setting on my oven is 200 degrees. So that's what we'll go with. I have inside the oven placed a small oven-proof dish to set my silicone mold on top. Now I use the silicone mold. You don't have to. You can use a standard cookie dish, and you can use cupcake holders. You can use silicone ice trays, or it doesn't have to be something as comical as I have here in my kitchen. But you could have little aluminum foil mold cups that you make that can be star-shaped or rectangular shaped or circular shaped. Your galaxy is up to you. So I'm going to go ahead and set my mold into my oven. Now, safety first. I've been turning on my oven and things because I'm an adult. So if you're a kid watching this video, you'll need to have the assistance of your parents. Your parents and guardians will need to help you in the kitchen to turn on the appliances and to then put this in the oven for you. Now, my oven happens to have a window right there. If yours happens to have a window, I do encourage you as a scientist to observe what's happening. So you can observe and see, and when these crayons reach their melting point between 120 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, you'll start to see them get soft, and eventually they'll melt and then mold to the mold that you put them in. So I'm going to go ahead and load this in the oven and let them bake. We'll let those bake for about 30 minutes, so watch for about 30 minutes and see what happens. All ovens are different, so if you find that you see they're not melting in 30 minutes, give it another 30 minutes with a max maybe about 2 or 3 minutes for the full meltage of those crayons. So we'll wait that bit and come back after they melt. So they have now fully melted. I have turned off the oven. And safety tip and precaution, I happen to have my UV glove that I'm going to put on and take these out of the oven. It may smoke a little bit, do not worry. As you can see, the liquid, I'm going to stand up here so you can see, and set it down. The crayons, you can see them wiggle and wobble there. The wax has liquefied, it has reached its melting point. I'm going to close the oven. And I set those down on the countertop, and you can watch them re-solidify. And as you see your crayons, every crayon will be different from you placing the different types of crayon colors in there to make your galaxy swirl. Take a look at them. You can observe as it re-solidifies, or if you're impatient like me, you can take whatever mold you had, whether it be the silicone mold or your homemade mold from aluminum foil or even a cupcake tin. You can place those in the freezer for about 30 minutes, and then they'll be 30 seconds to 30 minutes, however many you made. And then you can take those out. They'll be cool to the touch, and then you can easily unwrap those. So I'm going to go ahead, set this out on the counter, let it cool a little bit, then I may pop it in the freezer. So we'll come back once it's solidified for the big reveal. Welcome back. So I have here pulled from the freezer, so I let them be in the freezer for about 30 seconds to a minute, and they have completely solidified. Take a look at the galaxy swirls that you see from the crayons on the back side. But this is the big reveal, so I'm going to carefully from the silicone mold pull out each one of the crayons. You can watch me sort of pull out. You'll have little excess pieces. Ooh, very nice. There's the TARDIS in all its galaxy swirl colors. And now it's the Dalek's turn. And you'll notice there's little pieces that'll come out on your paper. I set a piece of white construction paper down on the table. But here we go. The TARDIS and the Dalek there. And you can use these now to create your own galaxy swirl. So I'm going to keep the TARDIS right over here and use the Dalek there with the head broken. I'm going to make a spiral galaxy. And you'll notice as you draw, you will get different colors because of the different crayon pieces that you use to make your galaxy crayons. So I'm going to make some big stars, I'll do one more swirl of my galaxy. Now it's up to you to do your own galaxy art with your Galaxy Swirl crayons that you created. Please take the time to share your artwork and share your galaxy crayons, and look forward to seeing you next time for the next video. And remember, science never stops.